Hello, welcome to Spoiler Alert Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest episodes in anime. You have been warned. Now, before we go into our anime discussion, I'd like to welcome our guest Watson of BakerStGeekery. Hello.
Hello.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I am the mostly sole host of BakerStGeekery. We do a bunch of videos about anime, a bunch of other videos about just like general nerdy, geeky stuff. I've done a couple reviews on a couple Nintendo-related pieces of merchandise that are not necessarily the games. There's an old Mario anime movie. It's about an hour long. It's okay, but you should go watch the video anyway. That's about it. Occasionally I have another host with me. His name's Leo, but he has lots of work that he does, so most of the time he isn't. But yeah, that's me.
Alright, so for this episode we're going to be going over first impressions of the following series: Log Horizon Season 2, Fate Stay Night, and Parasyte. And we're also going to be going over our final impressions of last season's show, which is going to be Free Eternal Summer, Haikyuu, Captain Earth, and Aldnoah.Zero. So let's go ahead and dive into Log Horizon Season 2. We're just going to do our first impressions of it. So what did you guys think of after watching the first episode or two?
Why can't Studio Dean animate hair?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Mari's hair looks awful. It looks like it's like made out of hay. It doesn't move, it's not shiny. I mean, it doesn't have to be shiny, but it has to look, it should look like hair and not like she's a scarecrow.
You sound like you should make commercials for Pantene or whatever. It needs to be. No, it doesn't need to be shiny. It just needs to be okay.
Pantene, just okay hair.
L'Oreal, because it should look like hair.
What's a lotion? Because your skin, it doesn't need to look smooth. Just kind of okay.
Well, first thing, I'm really glad that they kept the opening. The database, that thing.
One of my favorite openings.
Yeah, that was probably the best.
Mostly because I can sing along with it,
Half of it, anyways. The main part, the only part that matters.
The part that matters, yeah.
Yeah. But, overall, it was very confusing, episode 1. I don't know about you guys.
I agree.
I know that usually when they start an arc, they kind of go into what you're gonna expect in it. But then they kind of had, they went back to, before the big battle starts, right? How it got up to it. But then, when you got to the end of the episode where they're like, did you die? It's like, yeah, I died. Which I just kind of figured out right now, is what happens when you do die in the game. It kind of gave a little, it showed what happens when you actually die in the game, and then you see your other world. And that's what I'm guessing, what the real, you remember that scene?
Yeah.
I think you're overthinking it.
I know, I think that's what it was, because they're like, did you just die? Yeah, I died. That's what I think.
If that were true, wouldn't you think that more people would be dying, just so they could go see the real world more?
I don't know, because Shiro's never died, right? As far as we know. He even said he's never died, so he doesn't know what it's like to... We've never actually seen him die and see what it's like when people do die in the game. Or in this world.
When people die when they are killed?
That's the next discussion. But
What's it called? I mean, that would seem kind of anticlimactic, though, and don't you think you're sort of thinking the wrong thing? No, it's like, yeah, I died. It's like, oh, wait, what happened that he died? Does that mean, they failed at something? Instead, you're like, why is the Earth there?
Well, why would the Earth be there? Don't you, wonder? Because, didn't it show scenes of, the real world? I think it was the real world.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
They actually did for, once, yeah.
And there's a little bit in the opening, too, isn't there?
A little bit.
I think.
I think so.
Or maybe that's just episode 2 creeping into my first impression.
Probably.
I do remember they had, a moment where they showed, some of what it looked like on the outside.
It looked like Shiro.
It wasn't Shiro, though, in episode 1. It was, what's his name? Shield guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
But, how they looked before.
Yeah, and that really was kind of weird to me, but...
But that was during an explanation of something. That was different. There's that other time when it was just Shiro and he was walking around during Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. And then even in the opening they showed a little bit of them wearing their normal clothes and kind of looking out at the other planet, Earth. So I'm kind of wondering what that scene was, because it like the whole thing was like really confusing. Like I get what the whole arc is gonna be about, of them needing money basically, but how they played it out was like all these little time jumps and these flashbacks kind of was really confusing.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't that kind of like what every arc's been about so far? We need money. That's been pretty much it.
It's pretty true.
yeah.
That's been the main plot driving element. Has been we need cash.
Uh-huh.
Because money makes the world go round.
Well, hey, Goat Slime, adorable. Rudy, come back, please. I miss you. Be part of the story more. You're my favorite. Oh.
Really?
Yeah, Rudy's the best. I love Rudy.
Which one's Rudy again?
The guy the NPC that got turned into
Oh,
an adventurer.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
They did show.
Spoilers.
Well, I'm more confused on what's going to happen to him if they actually get out of the game ever.
Yeah, right? No, that's like the biggest plot point.
That's the only thing I actually care about him about, though. Besides that, I don't really like him.
From the last season, it didn't seem like they wanted to get. I mean, not like they wanted to, but like it wasn't like their main thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of.
It just came out of nowhere.
He just kind of accepted that we're stuck here, and let's just move on. And that's how I'm kind of going into this season, because that's how Shiro left us in the last season. Like I don't know, that's just like.
I thought it left us at a place where they thought that they might be able to get out at the last episode of last.
Oh,
season.
like the very, very end, like after
Yeah.
all the end credits. Yeah, because now they have the librarian dude, that weird creepy guy.
And that weird crow lady who just showed up for no reason.
Right. So it's kind of like, do they want to get out? Are they going to get out? But at the same time, it's like, they don't.
You can just,
I don't know.
The kid, the samurai kid, he doesn't want to leave, and I don't want him to leave because he's wheelchair bound. It's just
That's
so
true.
sad.
Yeah.
He's so happy right where he is.
Okay,
I
that
feel
was
like-
definitely episode 2 things.
No, that was from like last season.
That was last season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when they showed him that he
like,
was like in a wheelchair and stuff.
I thought we were talking
split
about
second, but it was
something
there.
else, but okay.
Yeah, it was a little bit like later on, but.
That's not very depressing, though. I mean...
Or
No,
maybe
but it hit me right in the feels because Minori's just like, oh, he's so happy jumping around, and then there was a little tiny flashback of like her pushing him around in a wheelchair, and it just didn't show any faces, but it was just like, oh my god, oh,
I don't
it
know.
was sad.
this is great.
I mean, after a while, you kind of want to get out, though.
Well, yeah,
I mean, it's like I feel like I can walk, but I know I'm not really doing it. Like, after that would set in after a while, you'd think.
Yeah.
or you'd get into a place where you're just like, I don't want to go back. I can walk around again.
Maybe it'll end up like Digimon, how they just kind of like go into like some kind of digital world.
That'd be dumb.
And then I feel like that's what it's gonna end up being.
Oh.
I hope not, but I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah,
I just hope not.
How many things has it been where people, like, all of a sudden are wheelchair bound in anime and it's, like, so depressing? Yeah, how many people out there, like, are as lazy as they can be and only walk when they have to?
Oh, there was that one series, Broom Handle in the Darkness.
Oh, yeah, where she could magically walk again. That was awesome. It's like,
We're
no,
not
I was
talking about
faking
that.
it the whole time. I love wheelchairs in anime. They're always like, oh, they're so depressing in their wheelchair. It's like, oh, that's kind of rude. What if they're enjoying life in their wheelchair?
I don't know.
What if they're happy?
Well, if they could walk before and now they can't, I don't think they would be happy. I mean, if they were always wheelchair bound, it'd be different, but...
Stop stereotyping wheelchair people, okay?
I'm not.
I would
Anyways,
be
back to
perfectly
Log
happy
Horizon
never needing to
2.
walk ever again.
They're in the digital world. This is Digimon. I'm just kidding. No. No, but like I said, it was really confusing. I hope that episode 2 didn't really, we can't really talk much about it, but episode 2 didn't really answer as much questions as I wanted. It answered a little bit, but there's a nice little character in there that I actually enjoy in episode 2. So.
Yeah, she's great.
She's amazing. But I think that's it for Log Horizon Season 2 First Impression. Let's go ahead into Fate's Stay Night. This is Unlimited Blade Works, right?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure
Yeah.
that I'm not...
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 0. Let me just say this is my first Fate series that I'm going into.
Oh,
so...
you're missing out on so much. There's so much that this first episode doesn't tell you. And that's my biggest problem with this episode. It tells you nothing about what's going on. Nothing.
I mean, if you just like Wikipedia it a little bit, you can kind of get a little sense of what this whole series is about.
That's
maybe?
not the same. It's not the same.
Wikipedia.
Well, hold on though. Like, what all is it? Like, where are you getting like the additional information from? Because I watched the one by Studio Dean so far, and that one I felt was even like worse at explaining things.
Right. Which is why you should have watched Fate Zero. Fate Zero's first few episodes explain the Holy Grail War just fine. This Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works tells you absolutely nothing about the Holy Grail War.
I think they're going too much off of everything else that's been out there, assuming okay, you know everything by now.
Yeah, no, you're supposed to watch Fate Zero first. That's what the vibe of this episode told me. He's like, you didn't watch Fate Zero? Okay. Good luck keeping up. We're not catering to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was still kind of interesting to watch.
No, but
because
that's my only qualm with the episode. Everything else is absolutely fantastic.
It is, yes. Going into this, like I said, it's my first Fate series, and I think my first Ufotable series. So, like, going into this, it was like I was blown away by all the action scene and just like those little, really well done scenes that they have. Like the magic scene that Rin was doing.
No, yeah, the summoning scene.
That was
the best scene in the whole thing.
It was great. Like, I don't know. Like, I know people have always hyped up Ufotable, and I've never seen it. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is really, really good. And it was just amazing. But
I'm personally not a huge fan of the character models, because the nose thing looks really weird to me. But
yeah, when they have like the 3/4 kind of like the way
or the
face,
full-on
Like
profile.
yeah, that was the only thing that I kind of was like, I don't know. But the action scenes and those like big impact moment scenes were like really well done.
Just slightly off topic, but you've watched pretty much all the Fate stuff, right?
I've watched Fate Zero.
Okay, you probably won't know either then. I wanted to know who the fuck Archer is.
I've only watched Fate Zero right before Fate Stay Night started. I watched it last season. I watched Psycho Pass last season too, just so I could be up to date for this season.
I still actually need to watch that. I want to know. Find out who the fuck Archer is. That's all.
Like his name,
right?
Yeah, no, because if you watch the original Studio Dean one or whatever, like they never say it, but he's like a total fucking badass, and like even the characters in the show are like, who the fuck was he?
So at the end of the day, nobody knows who he
No,
is.
that's why I'm like, who was he? Like I imagine like Robin Hood maybe or what? Like I'm trying to think, and I'm like, I don't know, who the fuck was he? It was so badass. Oh, I can't wait to see that now in this.
But I haven't seen episode 1 yet because I know it came out like today or yesterday or something.
Episode 1 of what?
But it looks.
Oh, the Fate Stay Night.
Episode 1.
Yeah,
like the actual episode.
The real episode 1 apparently.
The real. And it looks like every episode is going to be like 47 minutes long or 43 minutes
That's
long.
going to be great.
Is it?
It looks like it.
Really?
Which is kind of cool. Yeah. If you look at Crunchyroll right now.
Yeah, they're both 47 minutes.
47
yeah, I
minutes.
just double checked. Oh, wow.
That's kind of crazy.
That actually makes me very happy. It's going to be like
right?
They're going to be able to tell a lot more than they were with Fate Zero, and Fate Zero was really good.
So it's going to be these 40-minute episodes, and if it's going to be like 24 episodes, that's going to be even.
As long as they can keep
better.
the pacing right, it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my life is going to be involved in nothing but Fate Stay crap, because I still have to watch Zero. I wanted to watch the movie, but I mean, it's kind of about the same shit, so I don't know if I even should.
You probably shouldn't watch the movie because you're watching the movie right now.
Except, like, very much
Except
extended.
you're watching a very, 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 very shortened version of
what this is going to
series.
Be. Yeah.
Yeah, this is more fleshed out, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of confused about when I, like, looked up the movie. I was like, wait, why? What? I was like, why would you want to even watch the movie then once the series comes out? Because obviously it's like, why would you watch, like, a trailer for Lord of the Rings when you could watch the extended edition movie? Like, that's the comparison I was thinking, and I was like, this doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ray, what did you think of the first, well, not really the first episode, the prologue
Episode 0.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
Wait, hold on. Before we do that, how am I supposed to log that into Hummingbird?
I just put it as episode
0?
1.
Okay, because that's what I did.
I love how that's what you're worried about. How do I log it into Hummingbird?
How am I supposed to log this in? It's like episode 0. I can't put 0.
Everyone needs to know I watched this 47 minutes.
How am I supposed to put in Sword Art Online 14.5?
Exactly. Why do they even do that?
How am I
can they
Attack
just
on
call it
Titan,
episode 15?
Right? It's. I mean, I get it when
frustrating.
it's a recap episode, but still, this one's not. This one's like the first episode, but they call it episode 0.
I don't think I'm even gonna watch the recap episode of Sword Art Online.
No.
I didn't even watch the recap episode of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I asked Leo if there was any new footage in the SAO, and it's not. There's nothing.
Yeah. So, like, what am I supposed to do for this one? Anyways, sorry, Ray, go ahead.
Oh no, it's pretty much exactly what I expected out of it, knowing what it is at this point. There's not really anything different from the original, except it looks 20 times better and it's a little more detailed.
A little more detailed?
I mean, I don't know. It really isn't like crap ton more detailed.
You should take a look at the backgrounds again.
No, I meant like story-wise.
It's beautiful, like the city scene.
No, I meant story-wise, not like.
Oh, okay.
Visually, yes, it's a million times better. Okay, I'm talking story-wise.
Get our
it was like
pitchforks
slightly
and
more
everything
detailed,
over here.
but not really by much because they're actually pretty good about that in the original, in the beginning, anyways.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much exactly what I expected. It's like, it's literally, I watched this and then went to go watch the original, and did all that in like 5 days. And having watched the episode 0 of this, then going to watch the original is like I'm watching the exact same thing for like the first 2 episodes. So.
See, that's kind of like the difference with like you and me, who has never seen any Fate. You're kind of like blown away and a little confused at the same time with like how the story is, because I did Wikipedia what this Holy Grail War thing is, and I never really looked much into it. So like when I Wikipedia'd it was like it sounded really cool, but actually seeing it and seeing how like these are magicians that summon all these
the servants
guys to fight for you. Oops, sorry. Yeah, like it's really, it was like kind of like watching it's like getting me out of a void in anime. You know what I mean? Like when you're kind of like starting anime back up again. I don't know. I know it's been a while since someone's had a void, but it's like one of those series that just has like the kind of nostalgia feel to it.
Okay. Yeah, I can feel that.
You know what I'm kind of confused about too is I don't know if anybody like, have you noticed that, Sheena? They have a #SaberBestGirl on one of those Skype groups. Yeah, I'm pretty sure isn't the Unlimited Blade Works like completely sort of not about Saber to an extent.
She's in there.
She's in there, but isn't like there's like main girl.
That's just the way things go when she's one of the biggest characters of Fate Zero, and then she just shows up again. They're gonna just be like, "Oh, she's still the best girl."
Yeah, I was like, don't you guys realize this isn't like about Saber? Like she's not like the main character really anymore.
She's still gonna be there. She's still
she's still definitely gonna be there planning and everything, but it's like not the main focus of this one.
Not everyone's gonna jump on the Rin train like Daza.
I was on the Rin train from episode 1 of the first one because of those fucking thigh-highs or stockings or whatever. Because I have a fetish. Not even gonna lie, I feel they make girls cute, and I was like, okay, yeah, if this is like what I think it is, and he has to pick a girl, there you go. And he's like, no, Saber. Yeah. Oh, Saber.
Saber's cool looking, but she's not like best girl, She's not waifu material.
She's not even the best servant.
She can't even make Archer's better there. He was able to make her some good tea. She couldn't fucking cook for shit.
We're gonna get hated by all the Saber.
Okay.
Oh no, I love
Saber fans can hate me because Ryder from Fate Zero is the best servant. I know you guys don't know who that is, but you're going to watch it eventually, and you're going to agree with me that Ryder is the best servant.
I'm assuming there's a difference between the Ryder from the original.
I would hope so, because his arc was fantastic in Fate Zero. They don't need to bring him back. Yeah, Ryder's a dude in Fate Zero.
There is a difference then. Okay.
Interesting. Alright.
I actually have that ready. That's one of my other things in my saved up shows folder is watching Fate Zero before I get too far into the Unlimited Blade Works. I feel like such a sinner even admitting I haven't watched it.
I just watched it.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any Fate. I am the biggest sinner of them all.
I mean, it came, like, the original came out right when I was, like, beginning to stop watching anime, and then I'm not watching, and all this, like, fucking comes out. Now it's like, I have to watch it now because of Unlimited Blade Works. I was gonna have to eventually. Someone was gonna be like, "How dare you!" So I'm just getting it out of the way at this point. But I gotta say, I'm enjoying it at least. So it doesn't feel like work when you know, people tell you to watch something. Sometimes you don't really enjoy it that much. This is like, okay, well, I want to watch it now. The show itself is holding itself up, and it's just real good. So.
So yeah, definitely keeping up
we
with
could
this
just
one.
keep talking about how great Fate Stay Night is, but I think we've got a few more shows to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. So the last first impression that we're going to be doing is going to be Parasyte, or Kiseiju in Japanese. So first off, the opening. I'm just going to straight up say that it's my favorite opening this season.
What about the database?
I love the opening. Sorry, database, but that's like last season, just kind of like rehashing it to this season. So it's like, this season, primarily this season. No, it can't.
Actually,
it can't.
It can't be number one last season because of Nagi.
Yeah.
Database was good, but Nagi no Asakara.
I don't remember the OP that well, but maybe I do. Maybe that was the one I was dancing to. I don't remember.
Wait, what?
What?
Are you talking about Nagi?
Dancing in my seat to one of the OPs, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't
Wait, hold on. No, it can't be Nagi.
No, not Nagi.
Like,
no,
okay,
I'm talking about Parasyte.
Okay. Because if it was Nagi, I would have been like,
yeah, no, I'm going to
dance,
slow dance to that depressing song from Nagi.
No, it was not depressing. It was beautiful, sir.
It was beautiful, yes, but the show is depressing.
Beautifully depressing. Yeah.
But beautiful.
Anyways, Parasyte. This opening I love it. It's like kind of like the song that I would listen to in English if it was in English. But I like the opening for this one, and the series itself is like, I kind of agree with Ray that the style of it isn't really like the kind that I normally watch. I'm more into like the big-eyed anime characters, you know, purple hair, all that stuff. So this one has like that more quote-unquote realistic look to it.
Well, here's
except for
here's my thing with it. If it were more realistic and didn't have that rubbery gag scene, I think it would have been a little bit more effective when the parasite actually showed up. But then again, it's super rubbery, so I don't know.
Can I just say something that really annoyed me about the episode, though?
What's that?
Well, there's a big spoiler here, but when he saves that little girl, and blocks it with his hand, obviously, and all that stuff, he didn't seem to act like that was weird for him. I felt like that was supposed to be like some reflex that the alien was making.
Yeah, it wasn't his hand. His hand's gone, isn't it?
No, but like...
Technically, yes. His hand
But he still has control over the rest of his body, so he moved there.
Yeah, he
did that. That seemed very out of character.
It did a little bit. He seems kind of like that weenie kind of kid.
Person who would do that, and that kind of bothered me. And I'm not one of those people that normally notices that. But that seemed really out of character.
I don't know. We just met him. We don't know that much about him.
He was scared of a fucking spider to the point he screamed like a little bitch.
Right, but then at the end of the episode, he wasn't scared of spiders anymore because he was infected.
Because his arm is infected by.
Yeah.
I don't know. That bothered me a little bit. Besides that, it was enjoyable for the most part, without getting into too much detail.
The dubstep and the corgi.
I have a feeling that this is going to fill my Madhouse void left by Hunter x Hunter.
It was, like, I don't know, like the hand is really freaky to me. I don't know. I'm just glad that it isn't as gruesome as let's say Terraform Mars that people are kind of having complaints about with the whole censorship. We're not gonna go into that. I don't really want to go into that. But I don't know. The hand was just so freaky. I don't know. And he has a little mouth and everything. Ugh, that's not cool. I don't like that. That's just me being a woman.
No, that's gross.
I thought that the corgi was a little bit comical, to be honest. When its head turned into a little alien, it was just like, okay, sure, why not?
It's like flying. It's like, oh, I kind of feel bad for it.
I mean, you're supposed to. You're supposed to be like, oh, it's a puppy. The puppy got infected by the alien. It's just, this is silly when it just grows wings and starts flying away.
It seems it's very confusing too, though, because it's like you're retarded enough to infect a dog or like just get a hand. Yet when you're a hand, you're smart enough that you can like learn the entire language and biology and chemical shit of like a species.
Well, the alien tried to get his whole body, but he stopped it.
Yeah, the key to stopping them is a set of earbuds.
Headphones.
When it's in larva stage, I don't think that the parasite can actually... I don't think it's got a brain. I think it's just working on impulse, like an instinct thing. So when it didn't get to the brain, it decided to just like, all right, I still gotta live, so might as well learn everything and learn how to talk and whatever. Because we got to work in tandem, and I can't get to his brain now that I'm mature. So if I can't do anything, then this isn't gonna be good for either of us. We got to make the best out of it.
The only thing I did like, though, was the mention of when he killed the corgi. The lack of empathy the parasite had that's in his hand. I liked that. That was subtle, but it was like kind of important to notice.
Yeah. The parasites are completely emotionless?
Yeah. Except apparently it likes titties, though.
Wait, was it?
I said apparently it likes titties, though, so it's emotionless, but it likes boobs.
Yeah, right?
Maybe... Hold on.
So
maybe
is this a girl
maybe
alien?
the
or
parasite
a
is feeding off of his subconscious. And it's just acting out on that. Maybe that's what that jumping in front of the car was. The parasite is actually just making his impulses stronger.
That could be
I
a
feel
good
like
thing.
that would
That'd
be
kinda
cool and it would make sense, but it's not going to be the case, and now you're going to be really depressed when you actually see what it is.
Yeah, it might be.
It's just character development, that's all it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I did feel very out of character, though, when that happened. Just so much so that something has to be up with that.
I did look into them because it's based off a manga, and the manga was like from the 90s to 95. I think that's when it ran. And I'm looking, it started in 1990, and it ended in 95.
You can see that in the character model.
Character design, character design's completely different. Like main character, looks like a lot older than he does in the anime. And you can totally tell. Even if you just look at the cover page, it is super old. It looks like something, it is not like a regular manga you see nowadays. But this is based off an old series.
So wait, that means this is Madhouse, right, you said?
Yeah, this is Madhouse.
This is them actually picking something that's finished?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume so.
So maybe we might get something that's done.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
Someone go read the manga and tell me how it doesn't end.
I mean, they could just do the Ippo thing and wait 9 years before they make the second series. And then wait another 3 before the third.
I don't got time for that.
No, it's done. It started in 88. It ended in 95. Yeah.
Oh, 88? Oh, wow.
Jesus.
This thing's...
I wasn't even born.
Oh, wait, no, Wikipedia's right. Never mind. Right? Yeah, it's interesting how you can see the differences in the character design. But I was rewatching the opening, and there's a lot of things in there that looks really interesting as how the story and the plot will go on. Because I'm guessing there's other people that have this alien thing going on them.
Most of them actually got to the brain.
So we'll see. But do they still have consciousness?
They shouldn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you're fighting the alien.
Not to mention they took over the whole brain.
So. But so are you guys going to be keeping up with the series?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Until it does something to make me not to. So, the first episode was good. I just want more explanation and everything, and then we'll be good, and let's watch it like anything else. I mean, I'm not the type of person who drops something if I'm enjoying it at all, really, unless it really has to fuck up for me to drop it. So.
Like Unicorn Battle, was it? No. Dragon Battle in space.
Yeah, that.
On motorcycles with rape scenes and cage
Also, I'm also the type of person who's I watch the first episode, and if I don't like it, it's just, we're not going to keep continuing for 3 episodes. I'll just wait and hear what people think about it later instead of wasting my time with 2 more episodes.
We'll eventually talk about a show that I dropped because I found it extremely boring.
Alright, so that is our first impression. Now we're going to be giving our final impressions on some of the shows from last season, and so first we're going to be going over Free Eternal Summer. Woo!
Worst ending ever.
If you consider it a sports show, Yeah. If you consider just like a drama.
Even if you consider it a sports show, there are way worse endings. Like, okay, for
I don't know. I don't have enough.
Okay, I wasn't being literal. Jesus Christ.
Oh, just okay. Sorry.
But it was horrible ending though. Like it was so anticlimactic. It was very nice and sweet, I guess, to some extent, but it was very anticlimactic.
I really didn't like the just let's do a season recap like 10 minutes before we actually end the episode.
Yeah.
That was
right?
that was
Oh
stupid.
my god, I'm like they're still talking.
I mean, it was supposed to be nice, but it just looked like clip show in the middle of the episode.
Which it pretty much was.
It wasn't even in the middle of the episode. It's like, here's like
it's almost the end, better do a clip show.
5 minutes in the opening. Rest of it is all going to be recap.
Yeah.
And then last like 3 minutes is actually not a recap.
And then the last 10 seconds was like the best part. Where Kyoto Animation showed how their potential is when it comes to animating stuff, because that last scene when they're I guess they're racing in some Olympic like thing, how it was really well done. 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds.
See, if there's anything I want to see out of Free, it's just I want to see like a movie where they like are in the Olympics or something. I don't know. I want to see more. Like this is like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you see a show and you enjoy it, but you feel like the most interesting parts is what's gonna happen later, not what's just happened.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I mean the series overall was really I liked it. You know, I don't know about you guys because you know how everyone's like Free is like for girls, all the men and the muscles.
There's really no show that I would say, oh, this is purely for boys, or oh, this is purely for girls. You can find enjoyment in anything, but this show is clearly geared for not the teenage boy audience. No. Because they're just going to be like, oh, gay, this whole show's gay, which the internet, of course, exploded and said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
like the drama in it and the character development throughout it. It was really good, like especially for Haru's character.
Can we talk about the English voice actors they got? Fantastic.
Yes.
I mean,
like they actually got English voice actors.
I think they went to Australia and just got people. Although I will say the first guy who spoke English, I was just like, okay, first off, why are you speaking English? Second off, that voice doesn't fit you.
Yeah. Although, I mean, like, from what I know, some voice actors, they just record from their own home, and then they just send it in.
That could be.
So, they could have done it. Yeah. Yeah, because I went to, like, some panel for Anime California, and what they were saying is, like, yeah, sometimes we record in studios, but we also record in our own homes. We have our own recording studio in our house. So that could have been the thing, too, instead of flying a bunch of Australians over to Japan.
Or taking a couple people to get the animation right for Australia by sending them to Australia and having them look around. I think that's what could have happened, because that looked gorgeous when they were in Australia. And again, it is Kyoto animation. So.
Yeah. They're good with that. Yeah, but I like the series. Just the ending was kind of lackluster, and I guess I expected a lot from the ending, because they kind of, like, you know, they really hyped up this final race and stuff.
It kind of felt rushed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like Haru's decision to actually race competitively, it seemed pretty rushed.
Yeah, it definitely did, and I didn't like that. I hated the ending. I did not like the ending. Everything else was a lot better than the first season. Everything else was an improvement, but that ending was horrid.
It just seemed like he'd about-faced on his stance on not swimming competitively in one episode.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Oh my god, Olympic style pool. Oh my god, Olympic swimmers.
Oh my god, there's so much water here.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
There's so much water!
Water on me! Huh? Wait, what?
Somebody needs to make like some kind of fanfic on that, or
half off will get to it eventually.
That's what he needs.
Some guy with a fire hydrant penis. Haru.
Excuse me? What?
Huh? No, nothing. I'm just thinking of all the fan fiction that's gonna come out.
All of that glorious, well-written fan fiction, yes.
Oh, writing? Who's there for the writing?
Oh my.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right, I'm sorry. All that smut. Yeah.
Hey, don't hate on smut.
Yeah, she's just like, wait,
Wait
hold
a
on.
minute.
Who's
Wait.
hating?
I like smut. I like real smut though.
I don't like that. You know.
I imagine like that's Sheena's thing. I like real smut, stuff that actually has good writing, but it's still smut.
There's a lot of good manga.
You gotta be
smut
in
manga
character.
out
I'm
there.
not
It's
gonna
great.
like it.
Okay.
Then again, good writing for smut is not very good writing in general.
Hey. Hey, wait. Okay. That's for a whole nother discussion. We can talk about that
I
later.
think we're getting a little off topic.
Free.
Though.
Swimming. Ending was meh. Whole series was great. I liked it. I don't know if they're ever gonna come out with another one. It's kind of like, they already graduated, so.
I don't think it needs to.
Yeah. It was kind of like when people were like, is there really a season 2 of this?
Yeah. I think it's fine with just the 2 that it has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was fine with the first one, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was okay with it.
It's just, yeah.
Alright, so we are going to go ahead and discuss Haikyuu. Now, I actually came into Haikyuu after Kuroko. Did you do the same thing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, when I came into this, I was like, this is Kuroko's volleyball. This is I
No.
came into it like that, because I had no idea what Haikyuu was about. Like, I didn't know any, like, I'm not really into sports anime, and I think Kuroko was actually the first sports anime that I was really, really into, and that I really enjoyed. I never was into, like, Prince of Tennis, or whatever, what other sports stuff they had. But when I came into this, I was like, oh, it's gonna be like another Kuroko, or worse, because it's either Kuroko or worse. You know what I mean?
This
So
ridiculous superpower basketball anime in volleyball form, right?
I mean, it kind of was.
It's not. It is much better than that.
I mean, okay, they still had that whole aspect of distraction, which I guess in every sport there's always some
but
kind
see,
of...
in volleyball, that's like an actual thing.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I know nothing.
It's more of a thing than it is in basketball. It's not like, oh, he was here, now he's over there. No, it's just lots of people doing things.
But again, here's for me coming from someone who knows nothing about volleyball, nothing about sports anime. I always think of it as like, okay, everybody in sports has like one superpower kind of thing, right? I mean, even in like, was it in Prince of Tennis? Even though I didn't see it, wasn't there like something about him having some kind of superpower?
I think so. I never watched Prince of Tennis.
But I feel like it was something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So,
I mean, you've seen the scene where there's like a shot that killed a shot in tennis that killed all the dinosaurs.
Wait, what?
There's like a shot in the scene where one guy hits the ball and then there's a cutaway to a meteor coming down and there's a whole bunch of dinosaurs running away from it.
What the heck? Oh my god.
I don't know. It looks really silly and ridiculous, and that's what most sports anime is. It's silly, ridiculous, over the top stuff.
There's not a lot of realistic. I mean, I think Slam Dunk had a more realistic. I'm not sure. I don't know. People say it's more realistic.
Yeah.
Well, it's more realistic than Kuroko, but I think every other sport anime is more realistic than Kuroko.
You don't have to go too far to be much more realistic than Kuroko. Right.
But so Haikyuu was, I liked it a lot. I wasn't expecting much because coming from Kuroko, you would not expect like over the top stuff. But even though it wasn't as over the top as Kuroko, this one was really good, and I think it was mostly because of the characters. I enjoyed the characters a lot in this one. Especially
agree,
I like the Alba team.
Alba Josai?
Yeah, I love that team a lot. Like when they were going up against him,
mm-hmm.
It was I don't know. I think it was just their setter, whatever his name was. He was really cool. Like when they first got into the game. Yeah.
The Great King.
Yeah, when he came into the game and he's like, I'm gonna set it. Nope, just kidding. And then he just like pushes the
tip.
JK. And then what's his face? Like I call him Emo dude because he's kind of a little.
Yeah.
The king. He doesn't like being called that.
Yeah.
He comes in. He's like, I'm gonna do the same thing. Bloop. And it's like, what? And then that was like the
Pay
end of the
attention,
episode.
I'm going to do the same thing again, repeating the line that the other guy just said.
Right? And then I'm just like, it was the end of the episode. I'm like, what? That was awesome. That was the best thing ever.
It's funny listening to you go all hyper about it when you had it, like, you were like 10 episodes behind for a while.
I was, yeah. He was telling me, watch it, because it's like really good, especially with the team that they're going up against. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then when I actually got through it,
the show sold me with the first episode
Mm-hmm.
because there's a whole bunch of small, little, tiny movements that they didn't have to animate, that they just did. Did you notice that?
not really.
Go back and watch the first episode again. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's just little, tiny movements that they didn't have to do.
Or are you talking about like the character like actually moving, like
Yes,
how
the
like people in
characters
the
moving.
backgrounds are moving,
No.
and like people on
like,
court?
The people in the yes, but the people in the foreground too are just doing subtle movements.
Yeah.
That you don't normally see in anime. Everything's usually just huge and projected and all over the place, but this one's a lot more subtle. It can be over the top too, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of subtle animation in this show that's just fantastic.
Well, you'll notice a lot of movement going on all the time in this one, even if it's not like the people on the court, even if they're all just like sitting around. If you see people in the background, you'll notice a little bit of moving around if you really pay attention or something. And they put a lot of little detail into this show, but I did notice that. Isn't what sold me on it, but I did notice that.
This season had 3 or 4 different sports animes going on at the same time, and this one was my favorite.
Yes.
I plan on making a video about comparing all the sports anime from 2014, and there's like 7. That's ridiculous.
Really?
Just saying. Yeah.
I mean, I know there was the biking one, of course, Haikyuu.
There's biking, Haikyuu, Baby Steps, which is tennis. Kuroko ended this year. Hajime no Ippo's 3rd season also ended this year.
The ping pong one was
ping pong, yeah, right. There's a sumo one, which I don't really count that one because that one's they spend little time in the actual ring. It's more about the characters, and they're just doing sumo on the side.
Oh, okay.
As a fat guy, does it mean that the first thing I thought when you said sumo and they focused on the characters was them like eating? I am a fat guy.
The main character's an asshole.
Okay.
He's not even that fat. He's just super muscular and better than everyone else in sumo because he's ripped and huge.
That's not what sumo's
Doesn't seem realistic either.
I know, like sumo
He's
guys
like
are
a fat
huge.
buff.
A fat buff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll become
Like
a
a
fat
weightlifter
buff.
kind?
And then
that could be your kink.
there's also the Ace of Diamond, which is the baseball one that's still going on.
That Sheena likes.
I dropped it, okay?
Really?
I couldn't keep up with it, yeah.
Yeah, you dropped it more out of time, though, didn't you? Because you were loving it.
That's, sure, yeah, let's go with that. We'll just do that, yeah, okay.
You were.
You didn't like it. Okay.
I don't know, did it get bad or something?
No, I just didn't have time to watch it. I was like,
Okay.
I fell behind.
Yeah, okay, so I was right.
Okay.
But no,
Okay.
going back to Haikyuu, this is the only one this season that had a great ending, I think. Because
Yes.
Baby Steps ended and was just like, oh, we're going to America. See you next season. It's going to happen in next whatever. That's a dumb ending. Kuroko ended right after in the middle of the tournament.
After a big
Yawamushi
match.
Pedal ended during the final leg of the 2nd day of Inter High.
Great. That's, oh my god. I hate when they do that.
But this, of course, this season started right where they left off, so it was more of a funding thing than anything, I'm sure. But Haikyuu, this ending is fantastic. It is perfect.
You did actually pick a good point to end. Well, I think that's because I didn't get very far as well.
Well,
It might be kind of hard to end it well when they go real far.
At least they didn't end it, like, in the middle of their tournament.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I feel like when you have less to work with during, like, one tournament arc or something like that, it might be easier to do that, while if they go really far, how are you going to compact all this into one season kind of problem, you know what I mean?
Right. And granted, it is their first tournament of the series.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like that might actually become a problem later on if there's more Haikyuu, you know, and all that.
I haven't read the manga, but I have a feeling you're right.
Yeah.
It seems, I feel like Kuroko kind of did the same thing in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, but yeah, like, out of all the, I mean, I haven't seen all of these sports, but it was a really good place to end it. And it did give, like, a good feeling to it. Like, yeah, there is gonna be like another season. Hopefully.
There will be.
They can't just like end it like that.
They can't not do it.
It is more hype than I thought. I thought like not a lot of people actually watched Haikyuu, but when I went to a convention, there was a lot of people dressed up in
It's an
their
easy
uniform.
cosplay.
That's true.
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say
there's
it's
a
not
lot of
hard
people.
to do. That could be part of it.
You just buy the jersey and wear it to a convention.
True, but like
Don't
you have
forget
to
the
know
shorts.
the series.
Oh,
You have
I'm
to know
sorry.
the series first. Like,
You-
you know,
Yeah,
you have to like it.
Yeah, you need
can't
to
just,
watch like
dress up.
5 episodes,
That's
and then
true.
you'll know what you need to do.
You can't just like who would buy like a $60 jersey just to like dress up?
Really, Shuna, you're asking that?
I'm sure there are
I
people.
guarantee you there are people.
Maybe
Not
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of people. I get what you're saying, but still, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
there are people.
It was just surprising with how many people actually dressed up.
Not to
as.
mention,
I get you.
guarantee you it isn't going to cost you $60 to get a jersey like that if you look around hard enough.
I don't know. Maybe
It's fairly simple.
cosplays
and
are expensive though.
They
They'll
can
charge you, and
be.
plus they ship it from like China and stuff. Because a lot of them.
It's a
do
jersey. You don't
China.
need to ship it from China.
Well, a lot of places that you buy cosplay comes from China. But that's besides the point.
You're thinking
It's
like
cheaper. It's cheaper than making it yourself, I'm sure, because I made a cosplay for my convention, and it's cost me $120.
all you would need is a blank jersey with like maybe with the right colors. Have that shipped to you or whatever, and then you could add on the numbers and all that stuff yourself if you are crafty enough. I guarantee you could literally make one for like $35.
Okay.
Although you'll be
okay.
shortlisted.
Okay,
You'll
good
You'll be
point. Your
shortlisted
point.
though.
You could make the shorts if you wanted to.
I'm
If
not
you
risking
had-
that.
I'm not going to either.
My crotch is a little more important than that.
All the short shorts that the volleyball players wear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this series, I gave it a thumbs up. It was great. It's fantastic. I can't wait for the next season, whenever that comes out.
Yeah, 'cause you never know with this crap.
Yeah, they might be like, sorry guys, just kidding. You're never gonna find out what
That's
happened.
one thing that always pisses me off with Kuroko. I'm like, just take a season break and then show us more. What's going on?
Don't take a year.
Yeah, stop taking
Why?
a year or more.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of you who are listening, sports anime is not about the sports. It's about the characters playing the sports. Sports are just there. You can still enjoy the sports anime if you know absolutely nothing about the sports.
Also, if you like Dragon Ball Z, go watch Kuroko.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's Dragon Ball Z on a basketball cart. It's ridiculous.
It's called a basketball
It's
cart.
great.
That's what I heard. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Bas-
Basketball cart.
Yeah.
That sounds like the next step that Mario Kart's gonna take. Go
They already
playing
had Mario
basketball.
Golf.
There is a Mario.
Super
There is a
powered.
Mario basketball
Yes.
game. It was made by Square Enix, and there's
Oh god.
there's Final Fantasy characters in it too.
Why?
Why not?
It's not about the sport.
It's not about the sport. It's
character.
about the character.
Even in a sports game, it's not about the sports. It's all about Mario and his struggle to overcome his golf addiction.
We figured it out, Nintendo. We are on to you. Alright, so that was Haikyuu. So now we're going to do our final impressions on Captain Earth. Now, how did you guys feel about Captain Earth first? Before I say my opinions.
I just kept following it the whole time, so...
Was it meh?
I
Those meshes.
watched it until episode 19. No, I didn't. I dropped it before then.
Okay.
And you haven't finished it.
No,
Bastard.
it got boring.
Okay.
I liked the first
It got
episode.
better, though.
Yes, the first episode was amazing.
Yes.
The first opening was amazing.
I gotta disagree.
You don't like the opening?
No. About the other part.
Oh.
I like the opening. I think it got worse.
The series
Well, I
itself.
meant towards, like, the very end, though.
Right when they started introducing the other guys who were in the mech suits,
Mhm.
it just started getting super boring.
Right.
I dropped it after the blonde girl showed up.
The blonde girl was annoying. The
Yeah.
what's it called? The green hair guy. What was his name again?
Bugbear?
Yeah, something like that. His character was actually interesting.
Yeah, he actually had like the best background. But here's the thing with the overall series. So the first part where they're kind of introducing all the new whatever they're called, those mech guys, from space. That part was like really bland, and it kind of started being all Pokemon-ish, where there's a bad guy coming, let's go destroy it, blasting off again, because they did blast off into space when
they also took too long with it.
Yeah, they could have done like 2 characters per each one or something.
They just took a long time doing it in the sense that, like, I would have been perfectly fine if they went into the characters a little bit more, but it was just sort of like, rinse, what's it called, rinse, wash, and repeat or whatever.
Right.
Like, it just over and over and over again, same thing. The only one that I thought was different at all was Bugbears.
Yeah, because he had more of like a character development to his. But once we got all the characters in place, and I mean, it took longer than it should have, but once we got all that in place, and the part where you dropped it, Josh, like once it got to that, and then it kind of had like an actual story going on, it actually started becoming better.
It had a very bittersweet.
It had one of those, like, oh, it's so good, but it's like sad, and I don't know how to feel.
I don't care if you spoil it. I'm probably not gonna go back and watch it.
You want to go ahead, Ray?
I don't know if I want to at the same time, though.
It's like, well, okay, so basically they go into space and they go and destroy the real bad guy, because those guys weren't the real bad guys. It was like that puck.
Oh, iRobot.
So the show is exactly like Star Driver. Okay.
I don't know. I've never seen Star Driver.
There's iRobot.
It's the same team who made this show.
It was GLaDOS. GLaDOS was the bad guy, or Puck.
Oh.
Yeah, Puck, that Puck doesn't lie guy, or robot. He was the
HAL 9000. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the main bad guy, and he was using everybody, kind of thing. And then it was kind of like there was like this giant ship. What was it called? The Bloom. That Hana, I think that's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
She can control. And so they had like this big battle in space and stuff. And then it was kind of like one of those endings where I want to say that they both died, right?
I don't necessarily know that.
It's like, did they die? It's one of those like, did they die? Did they really not die? What's going on? Where Hana and what's his name, the captain.
Black-haired guy?
Yeah.
Daichi?
Yeah. Basically, they kind of sacrifice themselves to destroy everything, and then everyone's safe but them. Because everyone's all crying. They're like, oh, Daichi. Hana.
Yeah, but you don't really know that, though, because at the end it's like, it seems like they're okay, and then, like,
they're just in space.
Time, like,
they're just in space, and they're like, we're finally together. They loved each other. Here's one of those things.
Yep.
But
she had the biggest titties for a girl that young ever. Just pointing that out. Like, how old were they supposed to be again? And those titties were fucking huge.
High school?
They were middle school, weren't they?
Something like that. Like, they were supposed to be like what is that then? What would it be, like 12 or 13, and she's got like triple Fs going on there? I was like, that always kind of annoyed me. It's like, why are they showing the sex appeal of a 12-year-old?
Because Japan, right? Do you not remember?
Not only that.
This is Japan.
It's even
more.
You
clearly forgot our no game, no life conversation from before we started recording.
At least they were kind of realistic there. Here's some panties and she's flat as shit. No, this time here's a 12-year-old that's fucking more racked than any girl in all of Asia. Like outside of like specific porn stars. Like, it was, oh my god, I don't think there's a 12-year-old human alive that could ever support tits that big.
Probably not.
No, her back would be like destroyed by the time she's like 18.
Yeah,
but she's like dead
by
anyway.
By the time she's like 50, she'd be like that old lady that needs a cane that's in all the anime. Like super wise old lady, like always constantly bent over with her cane. Oh my god,
that's why they're bent over.
Yeah, right?
They were from a series from like a long time ago where she had giant knockers too.
And then she got breast reduction surgery, and now she's just the old wise character.
She's like, never again.
Never again.
She had a choice.
What's it called? Ultier's looking at that cart, and she's not even looking at Gray. Oh, God. Speaking of fairy tale, but... Oh, she's just looking. She's like, oh, my God. Get rid of those titties, Lucy. You'll regret it one day. Like, every big titty character.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, though. Yeah, but that did annoy me. 12 and big tits.
The show started getting boring for me when the maroon-haired guy showed up, and they were looking for some guy who could pilot these things, right? Mm-hmm. And no one else stood out in the crowd. It was just like, oh, I wonder who's the important character here.
Fair enough there, but
it's always the colored-haired people. I mean, look at Kuroko.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Look at Kuroko.
I know.
Like all like the important characters, they got different color.
It's a thing they do in anime. But when it's so blatant here and there's just one person in the entire room with colored hair, it's just like, oh, I don't know. I guess you're not the guy we're looking for, even though our suits are color-coded.
It's like Power Rangers.
It's like not only that, though, but it's like, how should I put it? It's like, it's almost like a mystery kind of thing, where it's like, we're looking for this person, yet there's no other option really given to you. So it's like, it's like fucking Scooby-Doo, except the only fucking option is one person.
Yep.
Right. Even Scooby-Doo had a bigger mystery than that.
Yes,
yeah, because there was
Scooby-Doo
always
is more complicated, yes.
There was that one guy who showed up at the beginning who was an obvious red herring, but then, no, it's just this guy. He's the one. You should have gotten him.
Yeah, it was worse than Scooby-Doo when it comes to complexity. But
yeah,
that was the worst part of the show, though, to be fair. That was the worst part. Was
if it's like one of those, it sucks because once you get past it, then it actually is okay. But you have to get past it, and that's like not a lot of people have time or they don't want to, you know? Like, why would I want to waste my time on this? And
I gotta watch my show about pirates that spanned for almost 666 episodes by now. I don't have time for this garbage.
Yeah. So, like, it kind of sucks when a series does that, but, I mean, if you have the time and the patience to trudge through all, like, that really boring, repetitive stuff, it's okay. But it's like, you don't got time for that.
All I thought of when you mentioned
it was
pirates, I thought, obviously everyone knows we're talking about One Piece. All I thought was more big titties.
Yeah.
He's got boobs on his mind right now. I don't know.
What do you expect when you watch fucking anime?
I don't know. Anime stuff.
There's really not much else to anime outside of story, like action, and here's some tits. Every now and then.
You just insulted half the audience, but okay.
No, it's like
I'm
very simplifying it, and if you get insulted by that, you're a moron. But you know, it's like every show though, you gotta throw in a little bit of tits for some spice.
Apparently,
yeah.
I'd be grateful if they'd stop, honestly, because it's a little bit gratuitous.
Yep, definitely. I can see
like that one show that we're not going to talk about this episode.
Which show?
The one that we discussed that we weren't going to talk about because I would get all ranty.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the rapey baby Cajun show. Okay.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one.
I want to talk about that.
I know. Well, we will.
Watch it, then we'll complain together.
Okay. Probably not, but okay.
All right, and then for the last final impression we're gonna do is going to be Aldnoah.Zero, the show that everyone went all freaking out over.
Very mixed opinions.
Yeah.
The show is pointless.
Pointless.
At the end of the day, nothing matters. This whole show didn't have to happen. Nothing was accomplished. It ended on a stupid note.
But the question is, if there's more, is that true still?
That's what
there's more.
Looked like.
There's season 2.
Yeah. I mean,
they already have the teaser out for season 2.
Yeah, I mean, after there's more, does that remain to be true, though?
Probably not. But I still...
I get your statement right now, though.
This whole show's thing was, racism is bad. War is bad.
Let's have war.
I mean, we gotta have war, though, because resources are a thing. Oh, also, my life is meaningless, and this show was a waste of time. Because, like, even the little plot line that was interesting, the one about the PTSD lieutenant guy, that amounted to nothing.
Yeah, they didn't really focus too much on that.
If he had confronted the other guy who was in the mech suit, it would have amounted to something, because he was related to the woman who made him kill his, partner, his best friend. But no, that didn't happen. That's basically an unresolved plot line.
I feel like they shouldn't have made it 12 episodes.
It should have been longer.
They should have.
Although I probably would have dropped it right at the end of this episode.
Originally, it was supposed to be 24, according to Hummingbird, but then something came out that was only going to be 12. So everyone kind of was like, what? What's going on?
I'm just saying, you would not have dropped it after the last episode there. You'd have been like, what the fuck just happened?
No, because all the villains are completely boring and stupid, except for the one guy that they killed. And even then...
Wait, which guy?
The guy...
Sorry,
the guy who was the orbital knight that...
the blonde-haired one?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay.
And even then, he was portrayed as being just as bad as everyone else until the one episode where they very bluntly stated that not everyone from one side is super bad, and there can be good guys on both sides. Even though the entire series before that, it was just like everyone on either side is horrible, and we should get rid of all of them.
Well,
and
that was kind of like what I liked about it, because you don't know who, like, it depended on who you were looking at and who the bad guy was, because everyone had a reason.
Yeah, I was looking at it very differently. I saw them pointing out
Yeah.
that message, but I tried to look at it in a way like, okay, well, who is good, who is bad then?
But the thing was,
But
it doesn't matter who's good and bad, because everyone had a reason to say that this person's good and this person's bad. Like, even the guy who started this whole war had a reason. Even it wasn't a good reason, but
he's
it was
racist
still...
and trying to get rid of his
wasn't
reason
a
is
good
he's
reason.
racist and he's getting revenge for his wife or his fiance. That's a great reason to destroy an entire race.
I thought it was more.
That
I thought
is
it was
more
like-
envious, I'd say, too, of, you know, being forced up into where there's no resources and everything like that. And I mean, it would be kind of stupid if you think about it, moving to Mars when if you have no way to
Nothing
make
there.
crops and actually have food and shit. Like, that racism thing is definitely there. We are superior to thou. But
It was more of elitist.
Even
but
though-
it was a perceived elitist just because they had
They had the
Aldnoah technology. Yeah.
yeah.
But at the end, they were really not happy.
No, and they very bluntly pointed that out, and that was kind of stupid too. This show is very blunt. There is no subtlety to the show at all.
Not really.
No, but it was for me. I still enjoyed it. I liked that whole. I mean, I wish they kind of played out the lieutenant's thing more. The post-traumatic stress guy. But because his character was really interesting. I just wish he had more. He had more play into it.
I thought he
But,
was the only interesting character in the entire show, because the main character is boring, and it's his shtick that he's boring. His older sister is a ditz. His everyone else is either just straight up soldier or a 12-year-old.
Okay, come on now. These kids were at least 15.
No one's 15. Everyone's 12 until they're 21.
So
That's how life works.
That's how Japan works.
I guess that's why Golden Time is what it is.
What was that?
I guess that's why Golden Time is what it is. They're like, okay, they're old enough to drink and all that now. They're actually people again, not just
Right.
children. That's why they chose that setting, Sheena. That's why there's no
Dude,
anime
you're
about
either-
like older people like in the office. Like they always have that character. But they never just follow that character.
That's not true. There was one anime that I know of.
Very rare. And it's usually not good
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
But
It's usually a manga.
I mean,
or
I'm
something.
interested to see more. And you also do have to remember, though, one thing you can't take away from it was that soundtrack, yeah.
No, the soundtrack and the animation were by far the best parts of the entire show.
Love the soundtrack. Ugh.
Can we
Even the
karaoke
CG,
right now?
the heavily used CG in this show was pretty good.
Yeah, that was actually some of the better CG that I've seen.
There are people that are still going to hate on it because they don't want their chocolate in their peanut butter, but
So don't eat
you
your
know.
Snickers, bitch.
But yeah, I mean, like I enjoyed the series. I was interested in it. I can't wait to see the next season, just to see what the hell's gonna happen. But
I wouldn't say I'm really hyped for it, but I do want to see more. I mean, it was. I enjoyed the experience still. It's not a terrible show. If you say it's terrible, I feel like that'd be false, but it definitely did.
it's not terrible.
It definitely does though.
I
shove crap
feel
down
like
your throat.
it is bad. I feel like there are
you feel like you were robbed, right? Is that what it was? Like, cause I mean, in some
when
sense,
every villain is played up to be pure evil with no other side to it, there's no. I don't feel like I'm getting the right thing. There's just not anything interesting to go with these villains. The first villain, he was just like maniacal. The second one was just like, oh, I'm honorable, but I'm still a bad guy. And then the lady, she was just like, oh, I'm so evil. Look at all my arms. There's nothing to these characters other than they're evil, except for the main guy. Which, by the way, I found his cat. Right? That's what they're called. That's the shortened term. They're Casfract or whatever.
yeah.
I found his suit to be extremely comical. Because he just had all the powers of the other guys all rolled up into one.
Yeah,
It's
there
like,
was
oh.
a little
He had
lack
probably,
of
like, the most
creativity
powerful-
there.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm so... Also, why don't all of them just have the dimensional force field thing? I feel like that's the best power out of all of them. The other one was a sword and just blast off arms. Come on now. They should all be equipped with the force field and have something else on top of that.
It's like their government doesn't know how to uniform their weapons.
Yeah.
They should have some kind of uniform armor. And then just have, okay, this one has swords, this one has this, and arms and stuff like that. Okay.
I feel like it was to try to make them more diverse, and it was just more of a lack of ideas, really, behind it.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the worst show I've ever seen. I'm ranting about it, how it's so awful, but no, it's not the worst thing ever. It's still fairly enjoyable. You can watch it. It's not like Strike the Blood, where it's just like, there is no interaction between your powers and yourself. There is a cutaway between you and your powers. Also, all the bad guys, even though they're like giant werewolf things, they still use swords for some reason. That makes sense, right?
Because why not, right?
I'm the giant beast of danger. Oh, I guess I'm going to take this little knife that is my only means of hurting you with, right?
I never got far in that series.
No, I dropped it very soon. It was awful.
I don't even remember what you're talking about, and I watched it all.
Don't remember. Don't try.
No, I watched it all, though. I watch fan-servicey stuff because I find it hilarious.
It's trying to... It was...
That's how forgettable that
show is. It is.
No, that is the worst show I've ever seen. This one is not even close to as bad as that. It's just fairly laughable in most of its decisions.
Keep in mind, if you really love good animation and, if you can if you can look past the CG, let's put it that way. Because, a lot of people won't like it just because, like you mentioned, and you like a good soundtrack, you'll enjoy it just off that alone. If you can appreciate those things to the extent some people can.
Yep. I agree.
So yes, that is Aldnoah.Zero, and that's also the last show that we're going to be doing final impressions on. So Josh, why don't you go ahead and plug yourself in?
All right. My name is Watson. I run a YouTube channel. It's BakerStGeekery, which you can find by searching it in the search bar. Make sure you spell it right. It's pretty long and drawn out. I'm also on Twitter at BakerStGeeks, street spelled with ST. I've got a Tumblr with the same thing. I've got a Facebook page that no one goes on because it's Facebook. Who wants that?
It's dying.
Right. I'm on Hummingbird. I occasionally frequent the forums, but the forums are very frustrating because of the people on there. I'm probably going to avoid that in the future. But, it's what it is. So yeah, BakerStGeekery. I will appreciate to see all of you there.
Right, and all the links that he mentioned will also be down in the description. So if you missed any of that, it'll be down there.
So you heard that, all two of you.
But that is it for this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you all next time.